My beloved child. Do not scroll away just yet. Pause for one quiet moment, because what has found you today did not arrive by accident. There are countless voices competing for your attention every day, yet somehow your eyes stopped here. Ask yourself why. Something gentle but powerful has been unfolding beyond everything you have been able to see. What you are about to hear is not meant to create fear. It is meant to awaken hope that has been waiting quietly inside your heart. Stay until the end, because a remarkable part of this story has not yet been revealed, and what comes next may change the way you look at every unanswered prayer you have ever whispered. There have been nights when you wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. There were moments when silence felt louder than every answer you hoped to receive. You questioned delays that made no sense. You looked around and watched other people celebrate while your own story seemed to remain unfinished. Yet even during those moments when you believed nothing was moving, the unseen was already preparing what your eyes could not recognize. Every delay carried a purpose that only eternity could understand. Every closed door quietly redirected footsteps that would one day lead toward something far greater than anything you imagined. Listen carefully, my beloved child, because this part is important. The next chapter was never meant to begin through confusion. It was always meant to begin through perfect timing. What appeared to be coincidence was actually preparation. What looked like distance was often protection. What felt like waiting was heaven arranging details that no human heart could organize alone. Stay with this message because another layer is about to unfold, and it explains why everything has taken longer than you expected. There is someone whose journey has been changing in ways that even they struggle to explain. Their heart has been learning lessons they could not avoid forever. Moments that once distracted them no longer satisfy them. Conversations that once seemed important have started feeling empty. Paths they once chased no longer bring peace. They may not even realize why these changes are happening, yet something within them keeps gently pulling them toward a different direction. It is not pressure. It is not force. It is quiet guidance that grows stronger every day. You have wondered whether your prayers disappeared into silence. They did not. Every sincere word carried weight. Every tear that fell during moments of loneliness mattered. Every hopeful whisper reached beyond what you could measure. Nothing spoken with honesty is ever forgotten in heaven. Even when no visible answer appeared, something invisible had already begun responding. Perhaps you noticed unusual moments recently. Small reminders that appeared without explanation. A familiar song at the perfect time. A memory returning unexpectedly. A peaceful feeling that arrived for no obvious reason. These moments were not random interruptions. They were gentle invitations asking your heart to remain open. Do not dismiss the quiet moments simply because they are quiet. Great transformations often begin with whispers instead of noise. Stay here for another moment. Do not skip ahead because the most meaningful part has not yet arrived. Something beautiful is slowly coming into focus, and every sentence is preparing your heart to understand it. There comes a season in every life when waiting quietly transforms into movement. The difference is so subtle that many people miss it completely. One day everything appears unchanged, and then suddenly you begin realizing that countless small pieces have been moving into place for much longer than you knew. That is where this story now stands. The invisible preparation has been continuing while ordinary days passed by. Every sunrise carried another hidden adjustment. Every evening completed another unseen detail. Your heart has changed too. You may not notice it because growth often feels ordinary while it is happening. But compare who you are today with the person you once were. The fears that once controlled you have become quieter. The impatience that once overwhelmed you has softened. The hope that nearly disappeared somehow continues breathing within you. These changes did not happen by accident. They happened because every experience has been shaping your character for what lies ahead. Do not underestimate the importance of your own transformation. Many people spend all their attention searching for someone else while forgetting that their own heart is also being prepared. Real love is not built upon perfect circumstances. It grows where patience, kindness, wisdom, humility, and trust have already begun taking root. Every difficult season planted something valuable inside you, even when it felt like nothing beautiful could possibly grow there. Something is waiting for you just beyond the horizon of what you currently understand. Keep listening because another hidden truth is about to be revealed. The one connected to this story has not lived without struggle. They have carried questions they never spoke aloud. They have smiled while hiding uncertainty. They have experienced moments when they believed opportunities had already passed forever. Yet every unexpected turn quietly redirected them toward the path they were always meant to discover. Sometimes people must release old expectations before they are ready to receive something better. That process is rarely comfortable, but it is often necessary. There have been moments when they unexpectedly remembered someone they could not fully explain. Certain thoughts returned without invitation. Certain feelings quietly resurfaced during ordinary routines. They tried distracting themselves with busy schedules, conversations, responsibilities, and daily obligations, yet something continued gently reminding them that an unfinished chapter still existed somewhere ahead. They could not describe it clearly, but they could not completely ignore it either. Do not misunderstand this message. This is not about forcing another person's choices. Every heart still walks its own path. But sometimes heaven gently invites people toward greater wisdom through experiences that awaken deeper understanding. Growth cannot be commanded. It must be chosen. Yet guidance can quietly illuminate the road until choosing becomes easier. You have asked why certain relationships never work despite your sincere effort. Look back with new eyes. Those endings protected possibilities you had not yet imagined. If every earlier chapter had remained open, there would have been no space for the next one to begin. Closed doors often become invisible blessings once enough time has passed. Pause here again. Breathe deeply. Stay until the end because the next revelation changes everything you have heard so far. There is a moment approaching that cannot be rushed. It will arrive with surprising simplicity rather than overwhelming drama. Sometimes the greatest answers appear through ordinary conversations, unexpected timing, peaceful clarity, or one quiet decision that changes many futures at once. People often expect extraordinary events to arrive with loud announcements. Yet heaven frequently works through moments so natural that only grateful hearts recognize how extraordinary they truly are. You may already sense that something inside you has become calmer. Even your questions no longer sound exactly the same as before. Instead of asking whether your story has value, you have slowly begun asking how to remain faithful during the waiting. That change matters more than you realize. Peace often arrives before visible answers do. It prepares the heart to receive blessings without fear destroying them. Remember this carefully. Delays are not always denials. Sometimes they are invitations to become the person capable of protecting what has been entrusted to them. A blessing received before wisdom often becomes difficult to sustain. But a blessing received after growth carries strength that lasts through every season. Stay with this message. Something huge is still waiting to be revealed. The unseen conversation has already begun. Not with loud voices. Not with dramatic signs that demand attention. But through gentle conviction placed inside willing hearts. Small decisions are leading toward larger ones. Quiet reflections are replacing old assumptions. New understanding is beginning where confusion once lived. Even now, while this message is being heard, circumstances continue changing beyond your awareness. Imagine standing at the edge of dawn. The sky still carries traces of night, yet the first light already exists beyond the horizon. Someone looking only at the darkness might believe morning will never come. But someone who understands the rhythm of creation knows the sunrise is already certain long before it becomes visible. Your story has entered that kind of moment. There will always be voices encouraging you to give up too soon. They measure everything by immediate results. They cannot see preparation because preparation rarely announces itself. Do not allow temporary appearances to become permanent conclusions. Continue choosing hope with quiet confidence rather than anxious certainty. Another piece now becomes visible. There was a reason you felt drawn toward this message today instead of countless others. Your heart needed reminding that unseen movement is still movement. Growth hidden beneath the surface is still growth. Seeds buried beneath the soil appear inactive until the day they suddenly emerge into the light. The hidden season was never wasted. It was essential. The one whose path has been quietly changing has recently reached a crossroads they did not expect. Old patterns no longer satisfy them. Familiar routines no longer feel complete. New questions have begun rising inside them, questions they cannot easily silence. They have started noticing details they previously ignored. They have begun appreciating qualities they once overlooked. Their understanding continues unfolding one step at a time. Do not rush ahead in your imagination. Allow each day to unfold naturally. Trust grows stronger when it walks patiently instead of running anxiously toward tomorrow. The most meaningful chapters are rarely built through haste. Something extraordinary is closer than it appears, yet one final preparation still remains. It is smaller than many people would expect, but more important than almost anyone realizes. This final preparation does not involve wealth. It does not involve status. It does not depend upon perfect circumstances. It begins inside the heart, where humility quietly replaces pride, gratitude gently overcomes disappointment, and hope learns to remain steady even when tomorrow cannot yet be seen. My beloved child, if you have stayed with this message until now, then hear these words with careful attention. The season of silent preparation is nearing its completion, but one decision has just been made in the unseen that will begin creating visible change. It is the kind of decision that quietly rearranges future conversations, unexpected meetings, and moments that once seemed impossible. It has already begun sending gentle ripples through lives connected to this story. Yet there is one detail that has not been revealed. One step still remains unseen. One conversation has not yet happened. One moment has not yet arrived. And when that moment finally unfolds, you will understand why every delay, every unanswered question, every unexpected turn, and every quiet season was leading toward something you could never have imagined from the beginning. But that moment has not been revealed just yet. My beloved child, do not leave now. Stay with this message for a little longer, because what has been quietly unfolding is beginning to reveal itself one gentle step at a time. If your heart has remained open through every word so far, then you are ready to hear what comes next. There is another layer to this story that could not have been shared until now. The first part prepared your heart. This part begins to uncover why everything has been moving with such perfect precision. There are moments when heaven does not announce its work with thunder or overwhelming signs. Instead, it moves through quiet changes that seem almost ordinary until one day they suddenly connect into a picture so beautiful that you wonder how you ever failed to see it. This is one of those moments. Something has shifted. It may not yet be visible to your eyes, but it has already begun creating movement in places you cannot see. Stay until the end, because the most meaningful revelation is still waiting for you. The heart connected to your story has not remained the same. Day after day, little by little, walls that once seemed impossible to move have begun to soften. Questions they once ignored now refuse to disappear. Dreams they once pushed aside have quietly returned. The path they believed they had chosen no longer feels complete. Without fully understanding why, they have started searching for something deeper than comfort or routine. They are beginning to recognize that peace cannot be found by running from what truly matters. There were nights when they lay awake thinking about choices they made long ago. Memories surfaced without invitation. Faces appeared in quiet moments. Certain conversations echoed in ways they never expected. At first they dismissed these thoughts as passing emotions, but the feeling continued returning with surprising consistency. It was not confusion pulling at them. It was clarity slowly finding its way into a heart that had finally become willing to listen. Do not skip ahead. Something remarkable is about to become clearer. You may have believed that nothing was happening because every day looked the same. But heaven often works beneath the surface where human eyes cannot measure progress. Think of a river flowing beneath solid ground. From above, everything appears still, yet beneath the surface life continues moving with unstoppable purpose. That is how unseen preparation often works. Quiet. Steady. Faithful. invisible until the exact moment it rises into view. There were people who unknowingly became part of this preparation. Some offered encouragement without realizing how important their words would become. Others created unexpected delays that later became protection. Even disappointments played their role. What looked like obstacles were quietly redirecting every step toward a destination that required perfect timing rather than hurried arrival. My beloved child, you have carried questions that no one else fully understood. You smiled when others expected strength, even while wondering why certain prayers seemed unanswered. You continued hoping during seasons when giving up would have been easier. That quiet endurance has not gone unnoticed. Every patient step has shaped your character in ways that will become meaningful very soon. Stay with this message. Something beautiful is drawing closer. The person connected to this story has begun noticing changes inside themselves that cannot easily be explained. Their priorities are different now. Conversations that once entertained them no longer satisfy their spirit. They find themselves appreciating honesty more than appearance, kindness more than attention, peace more than noise. These are not random changes. They are signs of growth that can only happen through experience. Sometimes people spend years chasing what impresses the world before realizing that the greatest treasures cannot be measured by applause. Hearts mature when they learn to recognize what truly lasts. That lesson has been unfolding quietly, preparing them for a chapter unlike anything they expected. Do not misunderstand the timing. Growth is never forced. Every meaningful decision still belongs to the individual who makes it. Yet heaven gently arranges opportunities for wisdom to flourish. Doors open at the right moment. Conversations happen naturally. Unexpected encounters appear exactly when hearts are ready to receive them. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Remain here because another hidden piece is about to be revealed. There is something extraordinary about divine timing. It never arrives too early, because hearts would not yet understand it. It never arrives too late, because purpose never loses its perfect moment. What feels delayed from a human perspective often arrives exactly when every necessary detail has finally come together. Think about the sunrise once more. No one can hurry the dawn by wishing harder. No one can stop it once the appointed moment arrives. It simply appears, filling the sky with light that was already on its way long before anyone could see it. Your story is entering that kind of sunrise. You may soon notice small changes before larger ones appear. An unexpected message. A surprising opportunity. A conversation that feels strangely significant. A moment of peace where anxiety once lived. Do not overlook these gentle beginnings. Great stories often begin with simple moments that only later reveal their true importance. Stay until the end. Something huge is still waiting. There have been unseen prayers offered by more than one heart. Some were spoken aloud. Others remained silent. Some came through words. Others came through tears. Every sincere desire for wisdom, healing, forgiveness, and genuine love has been heard. None of those moments disappeared into emptiness. They became part of a much larger story still being written. You once wondered whether forgotten dreams could ever live again. Listen carefully. Not every dream returns exactly as it once appeared. Sometimes heaven transforms it into something even better before placing it back into your hands. What returns after growth often carries greater peace than what was originally imagined. The journey has never been about reaching a destination as quickly as possible. It has always been about becoming the kind of person who can treasure what finally arrives. That is why every season mattered. Even the lonely ones. Even the confusing ones. Even the chapters you wished had ended sooner. Now another quiet movement has begun. The one connected to this message has started letting go of old fears. They may not even recognize how much courage has grown inside them. They are beginning to believe that tomorrow does not have to repeat yesterday. They are discovering that hope is stronger than regret. Little by little, they are becoming willing to take a step they once believed impossible. Do not rush to imagine exactly how everything will unfold. Some surprises lose their beauty when people try to predict every detail before it happens. Allow tomorrow to remain tomorrow. Let today prepare your heart. Because something is closer now than it has ever been before. The atmosphere surrounding this story is changing. The waiting season is becoming a preparation season, and preparation is quietly becoming movement. What once seemed impossible now stands at the edge of possibility. The difference may seem small today, but soon it will become impossible to ignore. My beloved child, there is one final truth I must leave with you before this part comes to an end. Sometimes the greatest confirmation does not arrive through extraordinary signs. It arrives through unmistakable peace. A peace that settles deeply within your heart without needing constant explanation. A peace that remains even when every answer has not yet appeared. Guard that peace carefully. It is often the first glimpse of a new chapter already approaching. But before the next step can fully unfold, there is one conversation that has not yet taken place. One unexpected realization is still waiting. One decision remains just beyond the horizon. And when that moment finally arrives, everything that seemed disconnected will suddenly make perfect sense. That is where the next chapter begins.